This year was a little higher than in previous vintages. Had, I think, probably a dozen wines today that we, as a staff, rejected. There were a couple that were judgment calls, but if you have 3 or 4 people who feel that it's a judgment call, the odds are pretty good that the wine is not going to represent the best that winemaker is able to do.
The last seminar brought together some of the top Chateauneuf producers pouring mini verticals of their red wines from Domaine de Vue d'Anjou, Domaine Marcot, and Domaine de la Jeunesse.
We're making lunch here at Hospice du Rhone. Nice big open pit barbecue. So what is it you got going?
On these big paella pans, we got a seafood mix going, and then we're also serving lamb. So we got the mussels, the shrimp, the calamari, a little bit of fennel and onion, spices, some ouzo, and a little bit of stock.
We introduced the auction about 7 years ago, and it was something that was unusual to our format. But as people gotten used to it, people understand not only is people bidding, but also winemakers realizing they don't have to do an entire barrel. They can do as little as 5 cases and do something really, really unique that cannot be found anywhere else. Hospice du Rhone each and every year organizes Robert Parker's annual California Rhone Report. This year, Bob very graciously offered a 7-course meal at his favorite restaurant in Baltimore, Maryland, which is Cindy Wolf's Charleston restaurant, an incredible place. And he has dug deep into his cellars, opportunities to join him and his wife, Pat, for a dinner with 10 of your friends.
If you give me $50,000, I'll let you bring 20 people to the dinner. $50,000. There you go.
Mini verticals of Beaucastel, mini verticals of Chave, of Chapoutier, almost about 70 wines in total. And to have an evening with a man as knowledgeable and enthusiastic and as gracious as Robert Parker, that's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
6 is the number of love. So if it was 60,000. 60,000. There you go. $62,000 going once. Are you sure? Going twice. Going 3 times. Please stand up so we can say both of you. Both of you. Both of you. Thank you.
Now you have a great honor today. You were the top bidder for the lot of the dinner with Robert Parker. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, we have a lot of respect for Mr. Parker, and it's a great list of wines that he's offered, and we're going to bring in a great group of people who all are in a position to appreciate those wines, and looking forward to a really good time.
How do you approach a deal like this? You pick out who you want to go to, or what do you do?
Yeah, I got a little list of a few. Don't show that list. A few producers I definitely want to try. So I try and hit those first. I'll try and find wines that are a little more elegant in style. Try and get and taste those first before my palate gets saturated. And then go on to the bigger wines, like, I hold like a Saxum or an Alban for last and hope they don't run out.
So for the white 2006, it's a very good balanced vintage with good acidity, not a lot of alcohol, so it's very nice year for the white wines. And it's a blend of 60% of Grenache, white Grenache, and 20% of Clairette and 20% of Roussanne. And after we have a cuvée Chopin Châteauneuf-du-Pape. It's a pure Grenache cuvée on colder soil, faced north, on the north of the appellation. So it's a soil which gives more minerality and finesse. And it's interesting with 05 vintage, because 05 vintage, it's a very powerful vintage.
Okay.
On this cuvée, we have soon than 16 degrees.
So what draws you to an event like this?
Well, I'm a wine and viticulture major, actually. I'll be finished up in the summer, and it's totally my passion.
I noticed one thing, and one of the reasons I want to talk to you is because you're a woman, and there's a lot more men here than women. Why do you think that is?
That's just the industry, but I think it's really quickly evolving, and the more you see more female vintners, I think wine is becoming much more accessible to people of different ethnicities and different age groups, and therefore women are kind of coming into play a lot more. So I think it'll just be a matter of time before you see an even number.
I started there 16 years ago. 90 was my first vintage. Very rugged, very beautiful region, very wild, difficult to work, but extremely rewarding. I mean, it's the wines there are wonderful. I think the soil, the climate we have is amazing. We're very lucky because, bottom line, I think it's difficult not to make a good wine in a Priorat.
You know, there's a synergy with these varieties that will give you, in the right circumstances, a whole that's greater than the sum of the parts. You can't tell if this is Syrah or Grenache or a combination of the two. It just tastes like what it is, and it tastes the way that it does because this guy is such a great farmer, and he's got good ground to grow these grapes on. They're where they belong.
The final event of the Hospice du Rhone was the old-fashioned barbecue. A great way to unwind before saying goodbye to some old friends and a great event.
So you're noted for a couple reasons. Number one, you just received an award. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Apparently, a group of people decided I was the best importer in America. We have a theme for our company which we call Place Over Process. And we tried to invoke the concept of terroir without invoking the T word. So hence the name Place Over Process. The idea is that we work in 3 countries, France, Portugal, and Spain. And of course, the concept is that Garnacha from Navarre should taste and smell and perform differently than Garnacha in the Priorat, or Grenache in Châteauneuf-du-Pape, or Grenache in the Roussillon.
Are you guys ready to ride some bulls? Come on down here tonight. We got Bull Production putting on Bull Ride with Hospice du Rhone. Keep your feet up in front there.